Welcome back, episode 40 of Revisited, and finally getting to this video that everyone's been asking about. Just stops. Fairy Tail is trash. Ellipses not exclamation point, and here's a retrospective in parentheses.
That's not wordy at all.
Yeah, this is probably going to be not very good.
We don't know that.
It's 3 hours.
Yeah, but he could say a lot in those 3 hours.
Did Svit
No.
within 5 hours?
No, he did say a lot, but it was a lot of bull crap.
And that's
and it was a lot of nothing.
That's what I expect. A lot of bull crap, not lies necessarily. A lot of bull crap, yes. A lot of trash.
I'm familiar with Just Stop. He's more of a drama dude.
One of those people?
Yeah, but he's interesting about it.
Is he?
Yeah.
What makes him different then?
I didn't say different.
What makes him good about it?
He's got energy. He's got...
Okay.
Look, this isn't my forte. I'm just saying, I poke my head in every now and then because I watch like a manga comic video and he'll talk about a YouTuber doing something, and I'm like, oh, I'd like to learn a little bit more about that, and then I'll search for it, and he and Just Stop will have talked about it, and I'll watch him. I'm like, okay, whatever. I ain't subscribed to him or nothing.
So I wonder why he decided to. I wonder if he transitioned into drama YouTuber, or this is just like a.
Maybe it's just a passion. Maybe he just likes Fairy Tail, just like, hey, chill out, everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, was he an anime YouTuber that transitioned, or has he always been a drama YouTuber? And it's just like, here's a couple anime vids because I love anime too.
Looks like it's been a mix of both. He's got Yu-Gi-Oh, Bakugan, drama.
So, you know what? Maybe it's like
Piece.
the anime stuff is his passion, but he'll get people eyes on the in channel through drama stuff.
Or maybe he's just doing a video that he wants to do and he's free.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like it's a mix. You got Demon Slayer, Mulan. It
sounds like all the stuff that you should be doing as an anime person, though.
Sir. Let's slow our rolls for a second. My Hero, the importance of character. Why don't we just preemptively add that to the list? Why don't we?
No, why do you have to go to a channel?
We just add that to the list.
Potential My Hero month coming, y'all. Yep, but let's just get into this. To start off, need to move my mouse.
Fairy Tail is beyond awful. I have been a long time hater of Fairy Tail for a while, and I have my reasons for it.
Fairy Tail is actually good anime. Boy, it is my contention, folks, that Fairy Tail is the absolute worst, most popular series in the world.
To start this video, I want to say something. I love Fairy Tail. I don't love it ironically. I don't love it and say it's trash. I don't love it just because of the hot girls. No, I love Fairy Tail and think it's a really good, maybe even great anime despite its downsides. Okay. Are the people who would have disliked this video no matter what I say gone? Yeah, alright. So,
Pause.
To begin, if you haven't watched...
I don't like when YouTubers do that. It seems just like those people are irrational and y'all are cool.
But those people are irrational.
No. If you're clicking on this, you listen to what they say. I don't understand. Well, there are irrational people.
That's what I'm saying. He's talking to the people that will be 30 seconds in. You like Fairy Tail, dislike, be gone.
They would see that title and just click and dislike. They do that with us.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There are people that are irrational out there, but it's not the whole contingency of people that... Because you're rarely going to get somebody that watches for 35 seconds just go thumbs down when you got a 3-hour video.
He's got a very healthy like to dislike. 19,000 up, 1.6 thousand down.
Okay.
So... he's spitting, I guess.
Tale, you're either living under a rock or you don't watch anime. I would say if you haven't watched it to do so, to know everything before I basically spoil the entire show and meticulously talk about every aspect in detail I like in every arc, but, well, there's 328 episodes of this show. I'm making this video mostly for people who already know about the show and or have watched it. So if you mind every spoiler possible about this show being ruined for you, then click off. If you've either watched the show or don't mind that, well, welcome to this retrospective. I normally wouldn't put this kind of message here, but I know there's gonna be those people who shout, "No spoiler warning, really?" And I didn't want that. Otherwise, enjoy the video, and hopefully don't crucify me for my controversial takes. Now, I know how much of a controversial opinion it is to love Fairy Tail.
Don't say controversial 2 to 3 times within 11 seconds.
I was waiting for opinion. Just get into it.
Just get into it.
Crucify me for my controversial takes. Now, I know how much of a controversial opinion it is to love Fairy Tail, let alone like it. Among anime, it's just one of those shows you're constantly told is trash and not worth watching. Look up Fairy Tail reviews. Other than Anime America and Nux Taku, almost every video talking about Fairy Tail is some kind of rant about how terrible it is. I'd compare the level of hatred for Fairy Tail in anime to be on a similar scale to little boys in the 2010s with Justin Bieber or Frozen. They didn't know why they were supposed to hate these things. It was just a simple matter of you're supposed to hate it, and if you don't, something is wrong with you.
Justin Bieber's music sounded horrible to people, and they didn't like the poppiness and all the nonsense.
Not my type of music.
And Frozen is not a good movie. Fight me.
Yeah, that's very disingenuous to just go, because it sounds like he just said that people just dislike it and don't know why they dislike it. But when people can break down why they dislike it, then what can you say?
If people are going, I don't know why I should be disliking this thing, but I know I should be disliking this thing. Are they even consuming the media? Or are they just going, I know I should dislike this thing, so I'm avoiding it because I know I dislike it? Like, did the 10-year-old boys that hated Frozen ever see Frozen? Or did they just go, girl movie Frozen, I hate Frozen?
If it's something like they're going, Fairy Tail is trash, and then they move on, of course they're not going to know why, because they're like, I've heard enough that this is trash and I'm not going to watch it, and I'm just going to perpetuate that. But if they have watched it and have thoughts about it, you can't just go,
And if you don't, something is wrong with you. Even with such a standard in the general anime community, Fairy Tail retains a large fan base of people who tend to not speak up about the series they like from fear of being ostracized for having quote-unquote...
Yeah, okay. Sure, buddy.
Yeah.
Sure, buddy.
Yeah.
Ostracized through the community. Who gives a what a bunch of people say?
Yeah, there was a couple years ago, there was a panel with Todd Habercorn and the voice of Lucy, who I am slipping... Jeremy Lay. They had a panel at MatsuriCon, and completely full room, people having fun. But there was like a group of people outside of the room shaming people as they walked in. So he's right.
I don't think that happened.
That did not happen.
Oh.
Nobody cares. What is he talking? I hate this. People are ostracized and hated for liking this thing. As long as you can explain why, who cares?
And if you go, I like Thing, but it's bad. Sure. But I like Thing, so what am I to do with that? I don't care if it's bad. I like it.
Fan base of people who tend to not speak up about the series they like from fear of being ostracized for having quote-unquote bad taste. Most people who like Fairy Tail and want to defend something brought up in conversation about it always have to preface the statement with, yeah, I know Fairy Tail is trash, but... and they would go on.
Do you have any evidence? Do you have any citations? Do you have any anecdotal evidence? Your friend on Twitter, anything other than just saying people do this?
But I don't mind people doing that. Yeah, I know Fairy Tail is trash.
Yeah.
But I like it. Because, they would recognize how not good it is, but still enjoy it.
Something within it speaks to them.
So there's no problem with saying that. You're framing it like they have to say it, otherwise people are gonna attack them. So, you know, I know it's trash. Hold on, guys. I know it's trash. Please don't attack me. But I still enjoy it.
Fairy Tail is trash, and they would go on to bring up a positive. Plenty of people...
No, he didn't just do that.
I was gonna move on.
No, he didn't just transition
He definitely found the picture. That's good. That's good that he found the picture. Either he went into it going, I need to find a picture of two people, of somebody talking to somebody with the hand symbol, or he found this hand symbol and went, oh, this is the hand symbol for Fairy Tail and I can transition it.
Is trash, and they would go on to bring up a positive. Plenty of people also have Fairy Tail be one of the first anime they ever watched, so critics like to point to this and say the only reason several people like the series is because of nostalgia bias, back when they barely had taste. I tell you, being a fairy...
Any evidence towards this? You showed 3 or 4 different videos in the beginning on Fairy Tail is trash. Why didn't you intercut somebody saying that?
But that is also very true, because we've gone through at least 2 creators going, Fairy Tail saved me at a point, it came into my life at a point where I needed it, and I love it for it forever, and it's great because of that.
But that's not what he said. He said one of the first anime, and thus hasn't developed towards.
But that's also the same thing with stuff like Dragon Ball. It's still prevalent today. Mm-hmm. How many people... Look at Totally Not Market, how many series he's watched. Look at Anime Wins, how many series he's watched. I'm not watching Bleach. You want this to be your job, don't you? He hasn't seen Bleach.
Why not?
I think he just started Naruto.
Why not? But yeah,
your taste doesn't develop, and a lot of times the first thing around that area, even if your taste develop, you're still going to love that thing and try to excuse it and stuff, because that's exactly what happens with Dragon Ball. I understand that. At the same time, sometimes people's taste do develop, and they still love that thing for whatever reason, and that's no problem as well. My problem is not with it's with quality.
Fairy Tail fan isn't easy. I'm not saying that because it's hard to like with all its flaws, but rather it's hard to be a fan of it when everyone else is always saying how garbage it is. I've heard it called a...
No, it's not.
No.
You love it, don't you? Yes, it's trash, it's trash, it's trash, it's trash, it's trash, it's trash. I don't care, I love it. What makes it harder for you?
If they go, it's trash because of all these out of nowhere power-ups, and as long as you can defend it, that's fine. But you said that it's good and you like it despite its flaws. So you're either excusing the flaws, going, that doesn't really matter, or you can defend it. In either way, you're coming out positive. So how is it hard for you to be a Fairy Tail fan? I love Cats. Cats is objectively terrible.
Objectively. I can't believe there's even a 2% on Rotten Tomato, let alone whatever it got.
The most generous that I could give it is a 3 on 10. But I've been looking for Cat shirts. I've got the Blu-ray. I don't care. I'm out here going motherfucking Cats every chance I get because I love it. And people go, horrible faces floating on horrible cat heads. I don't care. It's Jellicle Cats. Look at this big fat cat, and that's all he is. Yes, he is. It doesn't take away from my enjoyment of Cats by other people in on it. And you point to 10 people on this planet who love Cats, the movie 2019. Just unironically. Because I unironically love that movie, even though it is a hard 3 on 10.
Generous 3 on 10.
Generous 3 on 10. I ain't letting anybody take anything from me.
One Piece, garbage, trash, Bleach Piece, and many other insults. Before I made this video, I hadn't watched Fairy Tail in over a year, and I'd only seen up to right after Magic Games ended, plus I'd heard spoilers about the ending being really bad. In that time, I watched many of the reviews against Fairy Tail, and as my memory dulled about it, I started to believe that they were alright, and Fairy Tail was just a garbage show I happened to like because it was when my taste was still developing. That's when I saw part of a video made by Taku. I didn't watch the entire thing at first because because of spoilers, but the bit I did see gave me enough of a want to try and give the series another chance. I watched the rest of that video after I finished my binge, and I'll be mentioning it multiple times because it was really good. I had so much to talk about.
It was really good, huh? It was really good.
Well, I think we need to watch that then, because I don't think we gave that the greatest negative 10 we've ever given anything in history.
I don't see how you could say that video was good.
It was a bunch of touchy-feely stuff, framed in an objective standpoint when it was really just subjective bullshit.
These characters are wacky. And just a bunch of empty platitudes.
Coupled with eventually just saying personal passion and dude, I forgot how horrible that video is.
That video is not good in the least.
It got the quickest negative 10 we've ever given anything.
The quickest and then the biggest.
Dude, that video is horrible.
And I'll be mentioning it multiple times because it was really good. I had so much to talk about for this video, I decided the only way for me to get all my thoughts out would be to cover every single arc. Yes, that includes the filler arcs, which Fairy Tail had surprisingly few of, other than the Daphne arc. That one sucks shit and can go die in a hole for all I care. I guess the best way to start this retrospective / review / many other things would just be to get started. It all begins with our introduction to Lucy, the celestial spirit.
It took 3 minutes and 47 seconds before he got into Fairy Tail.
Is he going each and every...
Is this going to be another rant?
Is he going to do... I thought that it would be...
This can't be another rant,
I thought that he would go like characters and then talk about that for like 30 minutes and then villains and... He can't...
We can't...
He can't. No.
It all begins with our introduction.
Wait. Is there a timestamp for
Oh
this?
my god, don't look up the timestamps. Let us just be shocked in this awfulness. No.
There's no timestamps.
Why would there be?
Dude, no. Hang on, what's the definition of a retrospective?
Oh no, please. We've done retrospectives.
Looking back on or dealing with past events or situations.
Yes.
This is absolutely...
We're about to ram this up.
Dude.
We're about to ram this up.
Dang, and I sure didn't skim through this. Because I'm like, it's 3 hours. Of course he's going to hit all the major points. But he's just going to hit all the major points. At least he's got some emotion to his voice.
Yeah, oh, dude.
That's going to carry us at least some.
With our introduction to Lucy, the celestial spirit mage looking to join Fairy Tail. She meets a character named Natsu the Salamander, who is a dragon-slaying wizard, and Happy, a blue cat, by accident without knowing who they are.
You know what? He's going fairly quickly. So maybe he's just quickly getting it out the way and then don't slowly turn your head in DSP fashion towards me.
She almost gets kidnapped and with their help beats her attempted captors, then they run off to get Lucy into Fairy Tail. From our first introduction to the Fairy Tail Guild Hall in episode 2, the atmosphere is laid out perfectly. Natsu comes in storming, ready to punch someone, Gray and Natsu fight often, and he's known to take off his clothes, Elfman preaches about manhood, Kana drinks like a group.
It's too much too fast.
Yes.
I understand that it is a wacky, high-paced atmosphere, but you are introduced with at least 9 characters and 1 trait each.
Out the gate.
Out the gate. You don't get the slow burn of anything. And then slowly you get, oh, here's this person's backstory and everything. But for the most part, Loki's just a womanizer. Gray is just a naked ice dude. It's not good in the beginning in that aspect.
It's a bunch of traits within roughly 37 seconds. And then that's just basically what they are forever.
and he's known to take off his clothes. Elfman preaches about manhood, Kana drinks like a group of sailors, Loki womanizes. It's all so much to take in, but right away you can tell it feels like a real home for all the weirdos living there. They might be the weirdest, most eccentric people out there, but they feel at home and aren't afraid to show their true selves to their guildmates. Mira Jane is seen as the most...
We're back here, huh?
I was just waiting for the F word.
Just here. Now, he skipped over this because I don't know if it was just like uninteresting to him. But Lucy's dream was to join Fairy Tail. I've talked about this before. Her dream was to join Fairy Tail. She lives in the town that Fairy Tail is taking place in. She has never apparently seen anybody with a Fairy Tail guild mark walk by so that she could ask, how do I join Fairy Tail?
I think she just got that apartment afterwards, though. After she joins.
No, she does. But she's in the town.
I think she's just traveling, though. She just happened to be in the town that time. Because remember, she was going through buying keys and stuff, going through different towns and stuff.
Do you have any evidence to where was she staying before in that case?
She might have just been hoteling it up. Just on traveling to get to Fairy Tail.
I will say this. No matter what, there was no research into how to enter Fairy Tail.
Absolutely not.
That is a big problem if this was her dream.
Normal among them, and she's getting thrown around just as much without a care in the world because this is so normal and she genuinely enjoys it. Of course, for when the guild gets too rambunctious, there's the guild master Makarov. Even really early on, we get to know about his character. He breaks up fights among his basically surrogate children he raised, but he understands why they do what they do because he's a fucking loony guy himself. The entire guild works so well together because everyone feels at home.
They put that in the anime, the finger up thing. That was not in the manga.
Perfect.
At this moment. It comes in later, but they put this in here just to go, no, it's always been there.
Yeah, to try to give some context.
Bunch of darn cowards.
And like a family, the bond is shown.
Yeah, family.
Natsu helps Romeo get his dad Mako from the mountains when he goes missing, because just like Romeo, Natsu and the other members of Fairy Tail have all felt lost in some way and don't want that burden on other members. It's a home for the outcast from society who have nowhere other place to go and can just act like.
It's the #1 guild in Fiore.
Yeah.
They are outcasts, but they are also amazing. There are 5 S-class wizards there. One being retired, but she is now a high-class model.
How are they outcasts?
How are they outcasts?
Because I'm almost certain any one of them could have went to any other guild and would have joined.
But most of their backstories are they were just orphans and walked in.
Orphans isn't outcasts. Outcast means you were ostracized from the... Black Bulls are outcasts. You were ousted from our family. Go over to that, the worst in a guild in land. You've got no magic. I'll take you. Your personality is horrible. You're always smiling and wanting to fight and just, what are you? Come here.
Yes, so...
They're outcasts. You're a drunk witch that don't do nothing.
Yeah, there is nothing like that here. It's mostly just orphans and they could just walk out at any time and just go, I'm not a member of Fairy Tail, and then just go over to Sabretooth or Lamia Skill or whatever.
Yeah. They're not outcasts. They're misfits.
Misfits, yes.
But they're not outcasts.
But then every guild has a bunch of misfits.
Yes.
So it's not even unique to Fairy Tail itself. I don't think we've really seen any guild that are just like, I gotta hide myself. Look at Blue Pegasus and Ichi and his crew. They're all worshipping him and he's terrible.
Terrible.
Lamia Scale got that dumb dog dude and the eyebrows dude. It's a bunch of just lame-os.
And can just act like the people that they truly are without being judged.
Were people judged in other guilds for acting the way they were?
Really?
Besides the dark guilds and that guild after the time skip where it was just like, you gotta be strong, otherwise you're out of here?
I can't remember this. This is just a little tangent. Do people always react when Gray is naked? Are they
people, or do you mean people, or do you
people
mean
fairy tale?
No.
Yes, they do.
No.
They absolutely do. There's always a shocked face.
Oh no, I thought you meant like as a whole.
No.
Okay, yeah. There's always somebody.
Yes. So they are judging him for being naked and telling him to put clothes back on. When Urza first comes into the guild, she goes, pick up them cigarette butts. Stop drinking like that. That's very unladylike. She is judging them. Now, it's not a judging in a sense of... It's more like a family judging, but it's still judging.
Like a better yourself judging, as opposed to you should be ashamed of yourself for this.
But the people telling Greg to put on clothes, that is absolutely judging.
At event, we get to meet Urza, the older sister-type character to Natsu and Gray. She's seriously feared by the other members for being so strict and constantly splitting up Gray and Natsu's fights, but she still shows compassion for them in her own awkward way. Other than her, there are the other strongest members, Loxus and Mystigan. Just like it's the norm for characters to act the way they do in the guild, when Mystigan shows up to get his jobs, he puts everyone to sleep so they don't bother him, adding really well to the mystery of his character. Loxus is mostly just a passive figure in these first few arcs, but he's mostly just a jerk. Around this time is when we get to the first character-focused plot.
Okay, so he just skipped the entire arc of the evil flute, and the evil flute thing is the beginning of a very big trend in Fairy Tail, because the first arc was just a dumb dude who's just like, I'm selling girls into slavery. The second arc was, I gotta find Romeo's dad. And the third arc was, I have a flute that could kill hundreds of thousands of people instantly. And then that flute summons a demon from the Book of Zareth who could destroy the world.
What's the
that
problem
is
here?
Rapid escalation.
What's the problem?
That
here?
is too much too soon. That is a big problem. There is a lot of issues here, as a matter of fact. If I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of issues with that. And then the ramp up don't stop from there.
Does not stop.
You get to Loxus, but then it's just like, I want to take over the guild, and that's a bit more small and personal. But then he goes, oh, but I have all these thunder orbs that can destroy the entire town and kill everybody.
My favorite aspects of Fairy Tail is that it allows several of the characters, either seemingly big or seemingly small, to get major plot points in the series rather than having one be-all end-all protagonist that gets all the backstory and character moments.
Pause. Do you have any examples of type of character who does that? A main character that gets all the backstory and the development?
Naruto, no. One Piece, no. Bleach, no.
DBZ, no. Black Clover, no.
Yu Yu Hakusho, no.
Flame of Recca, no.
iShield 21, no.
Sword Art Online, no.
Ippo, no. You're just saying a word.
No.
You're just saying words. Like, on top of that, several characters. Several characters can be 4. That guild has 100+ members. How many actually get developed? Roughly 9?
Less than 20.
That's way too much. Less than 12.
It might be less than 12. You got Natsu, Gray, Urza, Lucy,
Gajil,
Levy, Wendy, Elfman, Lizana, Mary Jane. No, you can all lump them into one because it's all the one development.
We'll separate them.
Yeah, no,
cool.
I'm saying.
Yeah, you could have, but yeah, no, we'll separate them 10. Makarov. 11. Loxus.
12. Arm Dude, Shanks.
Gildarts. Kana. 14. A 10th.
The teleporting dude that was not a member of Fairy Tail, but he is, and then he joined the Magical Council and wiped his mind to believe that he wasn't a member.
Okay,
of
15.
Mavis. Mavis is another one. She was the first
16.
guild master.
Loki. 17.
That's it.
Juvia. 12. 18. That's actually a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. through 300 episodes, and then there's people like Elfman, Lizana, and Mary Jane who gets one piece of development and then nothing else.
Yeah.
And also we have over 100 members, and we're still under less than 20.
We're saying development. We're kind of stretching it with
absolutely, because guild arts, other than I found you, daughter, and now I care about you, daughter.
Oh, Michigan.
Is basically the same. Michigan as well. It's basically the same. Poor Yusuka does not get any development. So yeah. If you're talking about like series-wide development, no. If you're talking about, like you said, one or two big moments, I guess.
The reason behind this is simple, and I think Nux put it the best, that the guild itself is the main protagonist of the series.
Jesus!
Jesus Christ.
Are we doing this again? 20 people. There are so many shots of just a bunch of bums. NPC faces, no design bums. Don't have 100+ members if you're gonna do that. Gun Guy and Gun Girl did not get development. They got nothing, but they're just here. Indian Guy, Sand Dude, Telepathy Dude. They're getting nothing out here. Don't have so many characters. They don't feel like a family.
They do feel like a family. It feels like an immediate family, which are the ones that get all the development and the stories and stuff. And then it's like estranged families where it's just like, yes, we're related to you, but I don't really know who the f you are. You gonna come to the barbecue, cool, but don't talk to me like we've been together for 40 years, right?
When we had Mama's funeral, people coming up to me like, hey, King, I haven't seen you. I'm like, I don't, who are you? Who are you?
I remember you when you was this big. I don't remember you at all.
Okay, so. Uncle Shorty.
I'm surprised you don't remember Uncle Shorty, though.
Dude, the face and the name, but there are no events.
Yeah, no.
There's nothing that I could think of just like, oh crap, we did throw the baseball that one time or anything.
I think it's more like
he was just around.
Osmosis through like Undip and Down, where it's just like they kept saying Uncle Shorty. It's like,
and maybe
I
he
know
went over
that
their house one time and he was there as well, and he just sat there and stuff. But yeah, the face and the name, and I was just like, I got nothing here.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people where I'm just like, oh, it's been so long. Sure has. Yep. I couldn't tell you how long because I don't know about you. But then, to be fair, I'll go to cons and stuff with people I've met before. I was like, hey, I'm like, I don't know who you are. FGC events, I'll be like,
okay, but that's one or two cons spread over years as opposed to family members.
Yeah,
that I there's something there,
and
but
they live in the same city. That's the funny part.
It's not unlocking is the thing.
It's like a sheet tossed over it haphazardly. Just like, pull the sheet. I know the shape is roughly familiar. Just pull the sheet. Let me see what it is.
Like Bay Ray Sarome, you can just go, okay, Bay Ray Sarome, we got it. Boom, boom, boom. But Uncle Shorty's like, nothing.
I wish you would fix this. We don't have just one guild we follow throughout the series. Among the large cast, Natsu is a prominent figure, but he actually doesn't have too many moments before Tartarus, where he's more the sole focus of the series. His main character goal is to find Igneal, and
before Tartarus, and Tartarus is... Which arc was that? Just so I can have a basis.
Yeah.
Fairy Tail, Tartarus. No, not Taurus. Wait.
Tartarus, T-A-R-T. You're searching for Taurus, not Tartarus.
No, that is Tartarus.
No, that's Taurus. Tartarus.
No, Taurus is Taurus spelled like
Taurus. That? No, Tartarus.
T-A-R. Oh, there it is. We'll get there. Are you saying the arc before the final arc is the first one where Natsu feels like a...
What's the problem here? It was a long way to get there.
I needed a basis. So, the Phantom Lord arc is... Not the Phantom Lord arc, the the Loxus arc. Twice it was stated, Natsu, if you get serious, you're as strong as Urza. He is the person that goes up against Loxus, the town destroyer, the final arc villain of that arc, in the Tower of Heaven arc. It's Natsu who goes up against Jellal.
When the guild was about to get taken over and defeated, it was Natsu that went against the last dude. The one where Gajil first appeared.
Yeah. That was Phantom Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went up against that. When Hades, when it's like somebody need to get a punch on Hades, they all launch Natsu.
Can we stop with this? Natsu is not the main character.
Can we please stop?
At best, you could say Natsu and Lucy. At best.
We do get some time devoted to this as he meets more Dragon Slayers and slowly moves the plot along with him. In all that in between, we get to see the journeys of so many other members in the guild. As a character, one of Natsu's other main goals is to protect the ones he loves and help them with their own issues, and those friends all reside within Fairy Tail. The main protagonist all the characters come from, are connected by, protect together, and hopefully return to as a safe haven for them.
Bruh, this is like saying the Going Merry is the protagonist.
It is.
What are y'all talking about, dude?
And again, it's not special whatsoever. He's saying this like other characters do not get developed outside of the main character. This is silly. This is not a point of praise.
Are connected by, protect together, and hopefully return to as a safe haven for them. Again, referencing Nux, on a meta level, you feel like a member of the guild yourself. Fairy Tail is an open place.
Stop slapping your knees.
Stop slapping me with this shit.
Oh, right into my hand.
Dude,
wow.
I thought we were done with these arguments. I thought that we could just put it behind us and we would hear fresh stuff. But you're just spitting this same state he is and expanding on it by basically saying the same thing that he is with more words.
Do you not remember all the part 5 stuff? We're never past the argument.
Okay,
they all have PowerPoint presentations
that they just share amongst each other.
And then the words under the main points are different, but the main points remain.
But nobody said, like Oceana said, and then repeated his exact point.
Because they weren't inspired by that. They're just a part of the fandom.
They're just picking up a word from a hat and just going, yep, here's what I'm talking about. And it's just the same 3 words in that hat. So everybody talks about them words.
Exactly.
We don't need to say anything about this. You feel like a part of the guild. Garbage!
So, Fairy Tail is an open place where weird people with the right ideas can all congregate and hang out. You don't even necessarily need to be a wizard, just a do-gooder who has the ideals of Fairy Tail. Necessarily need to be a wizard, just a do-gooder who has the ideals of Fairy Tail. It's
happy.
He's a magic cat, though. Without him in that terrible arc.
It's a really bad arc.
Without him, they would have lost.
Yes.
He is a magic cat.
Yes. In the final arc, Natsu unveils his dumb Ignu arm. And he punches Zeref and goes, yeah. And Zeref goes, yeah, one more of them will be able to kill me. And Natsu goes, yeah, good thing I only got 1 punch left. And I'm going to kill you and me as a result. Because if you die, I die because I'm the book of E&D. And then he goes to punch him. And then Happy grabs him and stops him from punching him. And then his power dissipates. And then the arc happens because of that. So the arc could have ended right then and there. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. Who isn't a wizard that makes in one of the fillers?
Yeah, no, stop. Try again.
It's still canon in the manga, but it's just more fleshed out.
Okay.
One of the barmaids, the one with like purple hair, it turns out that she is the poison dragon slayer Snake.
Okay.
Just turned human because of magic. So she has magic.
Father's work just letting you go.
Oh, crap. You can't just say that and then not expand on it.
Hey, maybe he did. Maybe we paused too early.
Can we... Does the little girl who is the daughter of Gun Guy and Gun Girl has shown zero magical abilities, and thus we cannot say with absolute...
Is she part of Fairy Tail?
Even necessarily need to be a wizard, just a do-gooder who has the ideals of Fairy Tail. It's a cozy resting place everyone likes to be around when they aren't off on their own adventures.
Never
In
mind.
real life, that could just mean going through your day-to-day as the weird person you might see yourself as and coming home to feel welcomed while watching Fairy Tail. All the members have their own quirks.
No, you didn't.
No, yes, he did. He did exactly.
You come home to Fairy Tail
To feel welcome and hey, I'm weird like them. So you could be like, yeah, weirdness is good. And only Fairy Tail gives you this feeling, you see. Nothing else. You can't watch anything else to escape from your real life to feel like you belong to a part of a thing. Only Fairy Tail.
I'm so mad. Why is this happening?
Because they need it to happen. And this whole, you feel like a member of Fairy Tail, it would be a lot better if this was like a slice of life and we stuck with Fairy Tail throughout. But how do we feel like a member of Fairy Tail when we're punching Acnologia or going up against Freed and Big Slow? How do we feel like a member of Fairy Tail if it's just like I am watching characters
Because we too have
perform
an
in
inner
action?
strength that could have saved.
No other shows?
Question: is her right arm CGI'd?
I don't believe so. I think it's just she's a very pale individual.
Yeah, but look at all the shadow on the rest, and then look at how the right arm is. It looks really photoshopped and fake.
It's fine.
While watching Fairy Tail.
Yeah, so
All
you
the
got
Okay, it was just
shadow.
pure light.
They can
Okay.
express freely in the guild, just like you would like to do in your own spot for hanging out with friends, and by extension,
Go get some friends.
Don't implant yourself in Fairy Tail. This is a Band-Aid. What are you doing?
to do in your own spot for hanging out with friends, and by extension, you feel a deeper connection to all these characters you see as guildmates when they go through trials with other members at their side. The creator...
But what if I don't? What if it's just a bunch of bums? What if I am insanely annoyed by Elfmen? What then?
What if I'm just a person consuming the media
What
in
if
front
I
of me?
just like media? Who are those 5 people in the back?
Hoodie dude looks like he could be somebody.
No, it looks like it's just a generic wizard outfit. But yeah, this argument holds no merit, and I'm sick of it. I legitimately thought we were past this, because I'm like, once we get done with this Fairy Tail video, ain't no more Fairy Tail videos, so we waving goodbye to Fairy Tail.
Mashima always said Fairy Tail was based on his experience drinking out with friends at a pub, and you feel that kind of earnest energy with Fairy Tail. Getting to the first character arc, Gray and his backstory are the first really explored. Up till this...
I will say, it's way different than Ren. He's not just expositing the...
Yes, he's, like I said, he's better. He's
How could he be worse? When his own friends are calling him out when they get into a little spat.
Dude, that was really bad.
Really explored. Up till this arc, Gray has just been the weird rival to Natsu who takes off his clothes for no reason. But in Fairy Tail, even some of the smallest traits can be made from tragic pasts. Gray was once...
Don't! Do we have to say Senior Pink? Don't! There was literally no reason for him to put Senior Pink in that position. To the point where he just explained it to his editor and was like, yeah, I ain't gonna put this in. And the editor was like, you put that in there.
What are you doing, Oda? You absolutely put that in.
This is a dumb villain that was in maybe 100 panels. And he got one of the most tragic backstories. And he has not been seen since. He hasn't got a cover story. He hasn't got any redemption. He was a piece of that died. No, he died captured, and that's it. Don't say this like it's some sort of special thing. Man, I'm sick of this. Even if you look at Naruto did it terribly, but they had the earrings. They were just like, look, they throughout the entire time skip had these earrings, and now it is explained. Terrible, absolutely. Hey, why does Usopp lie? Oh, we know why Usopp lied. Hey, why does Nami steal? We know why Nami steals. Come on now. You can Chopper being embarrassed by praise. Oh, you can look at it like he's not used to being praised because he's used to being called a monster, so he doesn't know how to deal with it. That's why he acts like that.
Why does he want to cure every disease?
Dude. And his naked thing, what was the naked thing? Oh, his master said, take off your clothes so you can feel the elements so you don't feel cold, so you can better control cold. Absolutely, fine. Why is he just stripped randomly like that? Why doesn't
absent of using his power?
Absent. Why is he always just not naked? Why does he not have some sort of clothes that are just like, it looks like I'm wearing clothes, but I'm not, so I can feel the environment?
Clothes.
We don't know what the quirk. We don't know why he has the quirk of just getting naked randomly.
Hey, dude,
he just does.
Brooke makes jokes because he went insane.
He went
50
insane.
Years of loneliness and selling the sea with nowhere to go, with the corpses of his dead friends. The only thing keeping him company.
Don't say this like, oh, a small thing like this is as big meaning in Fairy Tail. Ugh.
Can be made from tragic pasts. Gray was once a regular kid whose village got attacked by Deliora, a demon from the book of the Dark Wizard Zareth. While his family didn't survive...
Pause. This is the 4th arc. I believe this is like the 11th episode. And we already have 2 demons of Zareth, the most powerful dark wizard in the history of the world. One of them was released already and threatened to destroy the world. It was defeated by 4 simultaneous punches. Okay, whatever. We're just going to ignore that because he also ignored this. And then there was another, I'm going to release this giant demon that will destroy the world. The ramp up is insane.
That's pretty smooth.
The ramp up is clown pirate. Dumb sword dude that's like, I'm just gonna kill a couple people and take my place in the rightful town. Dumb dude with gold armor who's just like, I kind of want this ship though.
A marine with an axe for an arm.
With an axe for an arm. A dumb, not even 5 million berry bounty chick with an axe. Not with a club. Look at these stakes. They're nothing. But it is just bam, bam, bam. Tower of Heaven. We're going to get to it. But all of a sudden it's just like, well, here comes this thing that can destroy the world. Phantom Lord. Oh, we have this giant beam that can destroy an entire town in a single blast, and Urza tanks it and uses that armor one more time following that incident. It's too much too fast. Have some restraint. Do small personal stories.
No.
And if we're going back to this, because I hate this arc so much. This is the arc that made me hate Grace so much. And the arc where I was just like, oh no, Fairy Tail is actually really, really bad. Within this arc, we're introduced to, up there is where the S-Class requests are. Mm-hmm. We're introduced to Second floor. We're introduced to 5 pages before Gray and Natsu and Happy go, we stole one of these. So, fantastic job there. So, the job coincidentally takes them to an island where not only the greatest monster of Gray's life.
Oh, let's not forget the ghost of the ship captain. The ghost of the ship captain, the only one that would take them to the island,
Very convenient. Okay, going back. Makarov goes, Gray, you go to grab them because only you can do this. So Gray conveniently goes on the mission with them that has the being that destroyed his entire life, his town, his mother, his father, whatever. The ghost of his former master, his former training mate is also there. Cold pupil. And it's all taking place. His giant plan is all taking place right here, right now, on this mission that they conveniently took. It's terrible. It's too much. Have
coincidence.
2 of them conveniences. Not like 5 of them. It's too darn much. And I just went, no, absolutely not. That's when I was just like, Fairy Tail real bad.
I will say I did like the island people being monsters, and it's just like, yeah, we were always monsters. Yeah. The humans was the stuff transformation.
Yeah, that was good.
We just forgot. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was fine. But then you got a bunch of dumb baby fights in that, and then how does we'll probably, I don't know how far he's gonna get into this, but how does Gray's powers are a big problem. Well, I guess we'll just talk about whatever, because I thought he was going to go into Gray and have like a 10-minute Gray session, but I guess he's not. Gray's powers are a big problem because, like I said before, Fairy Tail has a big problem with absolutions, and Gray can create anything with ice. So how does he beat this dude? He creates a bazooka with ice. It's like he's never showcased this before, and he has near limitless items that he can manifest. It's not interesting in that way. Because at any time, you can just do ice mine, ice trap, ice sword, ice spear, ice bazooka, ice gun. Anything. Limit your powers, and there's more stakes.
What's the point of getting creative when you always have the counter?
Yes.
When you always have the item you need.
And Phantom Lore art, they go, oh, this dude, he's manipulating everything around him to make it seem slower. But as long as you get out of his range, you're fine. Oh, luckily Gray's all the way over there with an ice bow and arrow. That's great. That's fantastic.
That's great. See what I did there?
While his family didn't survive, Gray was saved by a passing ice mage and her pupil named Ur and Leon. During his time with Ur, all Gray could think about was learning magic for revenge, Ur's specialty being ice magic. To access this type of magic, one has to start by stripping down in the snow to become one with the cold. As their training continued, the 3 became more like a small family of their own, until Gray learned where Delior was going next and attempted to intercept it. In the end, there was very little he could do, and Ur had to step in to take it down. She tells Gray and Leon to leave because of how powerful it is, but Leon isn't ready to accept that Ur might not win. You see, his entire reason for studying under her was because he thought she was the strongest wizard possible, and he strived to try and surpass her, seeing this possible loss as a betrayal. In that moment of blind rage, he tries to use the forbidden spell Ice Shell without knowing the side effects of its use. Ur knocks him out and tells Gray to tell Leon that she died rather than her using Ice Shell herself. What Ice Shell does is it encases your foe in a powerful, almost unbreakable ice, but the cost is the caster's own body becomes that ice. She doesn't want Leon to know since he'd spent his entire life trying to turn her back. Gray tells Leon...
There's also a stronger version called Lost Ice Shell that erases people's
Thankfully,
memory.
I found it.
Here it is. I can do this now. And I'm going to do it on you. And you're going to stand there and let me cast this.
I don't know what book had this. I don't know what master taught me this. But
I
got it.
I don't know how becoming ice can erase me from people's memories, but it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen right now. By God, and it almost did. But with every single ice shell, it is stopped.
And he walks away calling Gray a murderer for what happened. It wasn't long after that when he joined Fairy Tail. All that time after, he'd been training to try and honor his master's wish for him to become stronger and look towards the future. Unfortunately, he still couldn't forget his past and denied having been responsible for Ur's death for a full decade until it came to a head on Galuna Island. It starts off as him retrieving Natsu, Lucy, and Happy from going on a higher class mission they weren't supposed to go on.
Orders from Gramps to bring you back. So it is convenient that it's just like, here is my trauma over here, and I'm going to get over my trauma, thankfully, because I thought I put it... I got pills to take, and I thought... Because last time I put it without the sound, but it didn't... And I don't know why it did this time. But anyway...
Boy, that mouth of yours... dull all the pain.
No, these are antibiotics.
Okay. Don't want your...
Open wounds and everything.
Yeah, your
like that.
mouth getting infected from all that.
But yeah, it's too convenient. Orders from Gramps to bring... If it was just like Urza is going, but he goes fast, or she was in the bathroom or anything. It's too much.
Or he just says, "Take me with you."
Yes, or this was the second or third Gray arc. No, the first arc that we learned about his past trauma is the exact arc that he overcomes it. It's bad.
And turns his former co-pupil,
whose life mission was to unthaw Delior and prove himself greater than Auror. All of these things happen in the arc that it is introduced because Gray conveniently went there. Because they conveniently put in that request. Because they conveniently stole that particular request. Because they conveniently set sail in a way that they would not be caught other than by Makarov, who told Gray to go. Oh my goodness!
That conveniently had Urza on another mission, so she couldn't.
So she couldn't go.
Supposed to go on when he and the others run into the frozen body of Deliora being melted, essentially killing Or in the process. The melters turn out to be the citizens of Gray's old town looking for revenge against Deliora and using a spell called Moondrip to melt the ice and allow Leon to defeat it. The main point of this arc is trying to move forward versus always being stuck in the past. Leon doesn't necessarily care what to defeat it. The main point of this arc is trying to move forward versus always being stuck in the past.
Gray is not always stuck in the past.
Leon is.
That's
where it is.
That makes sense.
Leon doesn't necessarily care what Deliora did to people, or that Or's body is covering him up. All Leon cares about is defeating Deliora, to prove he's superior to Or and worthy of being her students. Gray spends this arc coming to terms with him being responsible for what happened, and trying to make good on it, even attempting to use Ice Shell himself to stop Leon. Natsu obviously stops him, because just doing what his master did isn't going to solve the problem, and there are other ways to beat Leon that don't end in death. This is one of the first moments we see the true colors of Gray and Natsu's relationship. They fight and call each other idiots and such, but they're still part of a family and can get through conflicts without Urza always needing to be there. The motivation helps Gray to beat...
Up until this point, we have seen them fighting and doing that once or twice. We've established that they are family and that they care about each other. That was the first speech that Makarov gave when they put their finger up. It was all about family and caring about each other and screw the rules. There is no reason why we should believe that they are antagonistic and then Natsu would stand by and watch him do Ice Shell and kill himself. There is no evidence that we would be given that. There is only, they are guildmates, they are friends, they have been together for a long time as is established. So of course he would save him.
Nah.
Really?
Nah.
Let's hear it.
I'm pressing play now.
Okay. No. I'm going, because he went, oh, this chick was stripped naked and forced to bow, even though this was an evil guild, even though these are our opponents, I'm still going to get revenge because that was a tough thing to do. Why would he stand by and watch
But that was later on, so.
True. But we've not seen anything that would suggest that Natsu would be selfish or
even just allow this thing to
aloof or anything up until this point is the problem. So it's not a point of praise. It's like, oh, we're finally getting their relationship. No, it's always been there.
And plus, finally, it's episode 11.
It's the first real Gray moment. What are you talking about?
Always needing to be there. The motivation.
When Robin breaks down, that's a finally. When we get Robin's backstory, that's a finally. This is in 20 chapters in.
The motivation helps Gray to beat Leon by seeing through his arrogance, trying to use one hand instead of two to make ice creations, thinking he's mastered it and believes this only further proves he's surpassed Ur, who used two hands. The reason he was taught to use two hands, however, was so his creations were more...
What is up with your phone?
However, was so his creations were more solid and sturdy. Gray uses this to his advantage and beats Leo, but Deliora is still unfrozen.
Here we go.
Like Natsu might fight it, but Deliora takes a single swing and falls dead. This is because Ur's magic had not only been keeping the demon hostage, she'd also been weakening it to the point Deliora died a long time ago. The situation is just a perfect summation of why trying to return to the past instead of looking towards the future can only cause pain and suffering for no return. Leon and the villagers spent 3 years thawing out Deliora with the hope he'd beat it, but they couldn't fight something that already died. With Leon left reflecting on this, the others returned to the guild only for another problem to rear its head their way. The Phantom Lord arc starts with a tragic event in the destruction of the guild hall. No one was there to be harmed by the destruction, but this was still an act on their and really sort of our home. This action
does not pause. How is it tragic if it could be rebuilt? There are people with wood make magic. They established this. And it's not our home. We have seen the main guild hall. We have not even seen the second floor as of yet because we can't go. That place has a pool. We didn't know that. The only way that I do know that is because I played the game and I went to the pool. The game is really good and going, wow, Fairy Tail is actually pretty big. And there's like a little alchemy corner over there. But yeah, this is not our home. We've seen the guild hall. That's it. And up until this point, this is episode 15 or so, we know and care about really like 7 to 8 characters. No other ones. Kana, Elfman, Lizana, we don't care about them. The people that we care about are on screen right now. This is not our home. Do not put it like that just to have emotional resonance.
An act on their, and really sort of our home. This action cements Phantom Lord as a petty guild, willing to destroy property when no one else is looking, but they aren't considered worth retaliating against until a character named Levy and her crew are crucified in town for all to see. Phantom Lord didn't need to do this to get their message across, and it wasn't even in their plan. Gajeel, the Iron Dragon Slayer, just did it to provoke them further, and seeing those members of the guild, however small they may be, hung up and shown to all the other members only helps the audience sympathize with them as if members of your own family have been harmed.
You are really trying to force this emotional through line.
Because he has to, because he knows that Jet, Joy, and Levy have done nothing. But they
are members, and we barely know them.
They are members of Fairy Tail, and thus we need retaliation because it's our home and it's our family. That's why it's important, because this is again, premise 1 is flawed, and you keep coming back to it, and it does not make your point like you think it does.
Again, what happens if somebody doesn't feel like it's
what happened? What if this is just some blue-haired chick that you don't care about? This dude could not remember their 2 powers. These are just
you told me
bums.
2 weeks ago. I don't remember.
These are 2 bums and Levy who had a couple interactions with Lucy. Don't.
As if members of your own family have been harmed. Each member of Fairy Tail we see, whether powerful or not, is treated with the respect any other member has. This sentiment is only further shared when Lucy is kidnapped as well. After a botched rescue mission at one of Phantom Lord's guild spots, Natsu and Happy are able to find Lucy and get ready for an all-out attack from Phantom Lord's huge moving base with a Jupiter cannon attached to it. For reference, one blast from this would be enough to destroy the entire guild in one shot. Phantom might seem unprovoked here, but the reason they're doing this isn't out of a grudge or anything.
This is a big problem because in the final arc, they get a hold of the Jupiter cannon and they use that Jupiter cannon to blast Agil, the sand dude that was fighting Urza. That gives Urza an opening to defeat him. Later, we see Elfman and Lizana fighting and defeating Agil. So are we to assume that Elfman and Lizana has the combined might of a guild-destroying cannon and Ursa the Titania?
Also, the guild itself isn't magic. It's not an accomplishment to knock down a bunch of wood and bricks. And they're fighting so hard for this, but it's just a building.
It's their home, so it's important.
But anywhere they're all together is their home.
Yes.
That a house can be rebuilt. Lives cannot. So Urza taking his cannon, if she dies, there's no way to fix that.
By herself, which also creates another problem of she used this armor once. It broke, but yes, we've seen her use it again in the future. Why should we be fearful of anything if she could take a blast use that was intended to destroy an entire guild head on?
But rather, they're getting Lucy for her father. I'll talk about him later, but right now the guild needs to fend off Phantom Lord, destroy the Jupiter cannon before it fires again, and win the battle, all without the help of Makarov, who was taken down in the rescue mission. Lucy contemplates giving herself up in the beginning, but the entire guild collectively says they can't allow her to do that, since she's
Who are these people?
Family doesn't give
Who are these people?
Look at them. Absolute bums.
With literal 14 frames of animation. Who are they?
Wait a second. That dude in the purple, could you go forward a little bit? Because I think he's copied over there. Okay, it's not the exact same dude, but boy, it looks like him.
They changed the hair
and gave him a bandage.
They can't allow her to do that, since she's part of the family now, and family doesn't give up members. The battle starts.
2-frame animations! Up and down, mouth open, mouth closed. That's all y'all get.
Family now, and family doesn't give up members.
Mouth open, sorry.
Natsu destroying the cannon's lacrima in a mostly uneventful fight. But the golem created from the base.
You can't do that.
There was a lot that happened there. There was a lot of bullshit that happened there.
Because that dude is just like, I control fire. There is no fire that you can hit me with that I can't just redirect back at you. So we're just going to keep redirecting fire back and forth until eternity. And then he goes, well, how about this fire that you can't control? And then he hits the lacrima. Because he couldn't control it for some reason. And he even goes something like, oh, he's doing anti-control magic in the middle of a fight. He learned that. Something like that. You cannot just go right past that. Because that is another problem of Fairy Tail. Of things just happening.
They need to happen. They do happen.
They established, I can control this magic, your magic, outright. Until the moment that I can't.
Until the moment you need to win.
And then at that moment, you win.
Natsu destroying the cannon's lacrima in a mostly uneventful fight. But the golem created from the base is still casting a spell that could wipe Fairy Tail out. The key to stopping it is beating the element 4 of Phantom Lord, and Natsu just beat one of them, so the base starts to get slower. As Gray reaches the base, we get introduced to Juvia, the Rain Woman. She has a pretty simple backstory. No one ever wanted to be friends with her because she would bring rain and gloominess everywhere she went. She tried everything to not keep being hurt by people, including sewing hundreds of dolls called Teru Teru Bozu, which are made with the express purpose of wishing for good weather. She hated herself for the disdain she brought from her melancholy personality, so she completely closed off her emotions to all other people. She starts showing emotion again when she meets Gray, the first person to genuinely show concern for and be kind to her. She goes on to have a major obsession with Gray throughout the rest of the series, but I think it's perfectly justified.
Because he's not mentioning them at all. He just goes, oh, look, she's down, and...
I mean, what can you say? This is about characters and feelings and emotion. And how much are you going to get out of that? Out of raw, here's fire.
From her perspective, and she still has her own character after she decides to join Fairy Tail when the battle's over.
Pause. She does not. It is mostly Gray. Are you talking about Gray? Are you looking at Gray? I'm going to hurt you because you're thinking about Gray. That is her personality. It's fine that it is because I really like Juvia because she's funny, but don't say that she has her own personality following that.
In Fairy Tail when the battle's over.
To the point where once the time skip happens and Gray leaves, she reverts back to her gloomy personality with nothing but rain in the entire village to the point where the village completely evacuated. That Gray is her personality.
Fairy Tail when the battle's over. Other than Juvia's fight with Gray, the major battle I want to talk about is Elfman's battle with Le Sol. Natsu's battle with Gagil had its own highlights, but Elfman as a character developed way more in his battle. Getting some backstory on Elfman, he and his sister Lizana and Mira were banished from their hometown when Mira absorbed the soul of a demon to stop it from causing trouble, and she was labeled one herself. They traveled all around Fiore trying to look for help getting Mira back to normal, until they reached
There's some outcasts.
Sure.
Fairy Tail and met Makarov. He was the first person not scared of Mira's ability, and taught her siblings to use similar takeover spells so she could feel like she was one of them. The only one who struggled with it being Elfman. Many years later, the three went on an S-Class quest, and Elfman took over the soul of a beast he wasn't able to control. And before we learned about this, there was always an underlying tragedy about what happened to Lizana, since she isn't hanging around the guild hall. When Elfman confronts Soul, Soul looks into Elfman's memories to see that Lizana died when she tried to calm Elfman down.
Nope. Pause.
They are the element 4. They have 4 elements, and this was established. And he goes, I am the earth element. But also, I can look into your mind and your past and your tragedies, and I can make these golems of your sister what she would look like now.
Yeah, but
how?
You know, we all come from Mother Earth, so
how? And if you go, yeah, he just has 2 different types of magic. That's totally understandable. That's 100% fine. Why doesn't Lucy learn a basic fire spell to help Natsu?
Yeah, let him eat some fire when he's out of energy.
A very basic fire spell. If people can learn different types of magic that are completely separate from their type.
If you can control the earth and then also read people's minds and paths.
Because this is the problem in the final arc with the dude that is, I am the best ice person in the entire world, but I can also put a chain around your neck that can make you do whatever I want you to do.